What's up, everyone? Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings. I'm going to try to do this pick a card reading live. I'm always up very late and I haven't been able to consistently put them up because they're not uploading on YouTube. They'll even sometimes be fully done, but just not upload on YouTube, or they'll get stuck in processing. I just had a wonderful conjure video that was stuck that way, so I'll do that one again and get the pick a card conjure reading for you guys. But I did want that out for the Scorpio full moon, but always for a reason. So we have a gorgeous reading. I'm so excited. I got these Go Green Oracle cards. We're using the Tarot of Trees, the Secret Language of Animals, which is Endangered Voices of Mother Earth. And I have the animal, is it the animal totem tarot, or I don't know, one of the animal tarots, I forget, my brain lately. So we have the stones here a little bit more. I mean, all stones are natural, but we have, just a raw stone that someone gave me that was lovely. We have turquoise, we have a amazonite bead, we have pink agate, we have this one, which is, I want to say prehnite, but I think it's one of the dragon stones actually. It's not like me to forget things so much, but hey, new mom. And we have a pink opal. So I have these stacks of cards prepared. I did a lot of shuffling, believe you me. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and take a little time to see cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can remember them by stone. This is to see your check-in with Mama Earth. What, are you doing what is necessary on your path? Is there an area you could focus in, that kind of thing, to see what she has to say for you and communicate with her a little bit about your goals and your life here on her. So my baby's sleeping and she's like really noisily sleeping right now. So if you hear like strange breathing and things, I promise she's okay. She's just a really weird sleeper, and I'm probably the same way. Okay, so everyone got your cards? Here we go. For those of you who chose pink opal. Oh, and at the end, we do have a collective for everybody pull. That's from the subconscious cards, the bottom of the deck. So stay tuned for that. Electronic detox. Ah, turn me off. No, after you're done watching. So the first message from the Go Green cards is an electronic detox for you guys who chose number 1 or pink opal. So, and this could be even for your own good. If you're suffering headaches and stuff like that, it might be from sleeping by your phone with all of the Wi-Fi signals and things, and that does help because I had to do that one point. I had severe migraines and I was like sleeping by my phone, and I put it on airplane mode. Is what you do. You put it on airplane mode and it will turn it all off. You don't get your messages now, you get them later, and it really helped. So you have to see, with what's required of you, with if you have kids and your job and things like that, how much you can actually just turn your phone off and go cold turkey. But you are suggested to begin electronic detox. Detoxes aren't forever, but to start balancing what you can do a bit more naturally, a little bit more in person. Maybe write some handwritten letters. And that's good for love life. We got the heart here. We got the wishing dandelion seeds going off and everything. So it can make life a little bit more romantic, a little more old school. From the Animal Tarot, we have the Four of Cups. So yeah, some of you could be using electronics much like most of us do for like blatant boredom and just like to get out of your own head and like not really feeling like you have enough. So it's kind of like you're overloading on energy, but you're still feeling very empty on energy and empty emotionally. So it's just like stuffing in, stuffing in, stuffing in. And like you might even start looking at stuff that you're like, I don't even like this. I don't even like keeping up with gossip or celebrities or whatever, but I'm just like, gorging myself on it to kind of either to feel numb or to feel something. All right. So here we have the Six of Swords, which is literally moving out of stagnation, but in this card shows more, in this deck, more of the stagnation part. So just that it's really, really tied to your electronic diet. And electronic doesn't even have to be like online. It could just be other types of like, everything's technological nowadays. Yes, having to be plugged in some way. It could be having to have your shuffle on 24/7 and plug everyone out, but you're not feeling fulfilled and it's keeping you stagnant instead of moving on. Some of you guys are really using distraction like really intensely from actually paying attention to like a move you're supposed to do, a relationship you're supposed to leave, and just kind of, plodding along in just a very stagnant mire kind of feeling. So then we have a gecko. Oh, there's butterflies on. That's good. That's good. Synchronicity, optimism, truth, and mobility, which is funny because it's like turn off the mobile, but then there's mobility. So it's a different type of mobile you're supposed to have here. Truth, optimism, and synchronicity. So some of you too, it might be because your electronic diet is full of like junk food, untrue, fake news. You know what I mean? Like you're just, it's just like hogwash. There's just the, and so it's like you need truth. You need some optimism. You need sources that you can trust for synchronicities, because if all you're doing is plugged into electronic sources, then you're like, well, who knows if that was really a sign, because, you know, Big Brother is running that, and who knows, like you need to go out in nature so that you know that this is like authentic medicine, that you're getting authentic signs and synchronicities, so you feel empowered to leave these situations that you felt very stuck and stagnant in. Because like you have like octopus energy here, and octopus can escape anything. Like they're just like, they're insane that way. They can just squeeze through the tiniest holes and escape. And they catch them on videos when they're, you know, in captivity, like trying to escape and like memorizing the guards like schedules and changing shifts and stuff. And so it's like you have that energy there, but you're not doing it yet, and there's still some stagnation that's staying there, and it's, you know, reflecting maybe that relationship of feeling that in Mother Earth, and feeling like you can't connect to her. So when you are trying to go and be positive about being proactive and healing towards Mother Earth, you might be very overwhelmed by just the stagnation of lakes and everything backed up, and you might not feel like, you know, things are flowing and clean anymore, and you might get overwhelmed by just all the electronics, and that people don't you know, just do away with it. So I think it's seeking balance with the electronics, and, you know, for some of you, it is learning where, when they are good to have around, and making sure that you're still staying connected, but only in a good way, in a healthy way, because this ship is sunk, right? And this card usually has the ship in it moving forward. So don't be afraid if you've tried a healthy eco path, or if you've tried having a more balanced social life online and things and it hasn't worked out. You know, you might feel like, you know what, screw it, whatever, I'm just going to gorge myself on this. And this is saying, no, you can do it. You can get back out of that negative habit, and, you know, move yourself forward. Even if you've kind of crashed and burned, and now you feel like, oh, I don't even want to get green friendly because I've tried before and I crashed and I feel silly about it. This is encouragement to go ahead and to do it. Just be truthful. You know, it's all part of the cycle. We all go when we can be super good at something for a while, and then we move. Some of you, it could have been because of a move that you suddenly dialed back and weren't able to do what you needed to. So maybe you had to use electronics more to stay in touch with people and communication. So having a little patience with yourself. I see the butterflies here. You still have a lot more transformation to do to get where you want to be in an environmental way. So helping to, if you want to focus on what should you help, focusing on what we do with our electronics, and focusing on stagnant waterways, and you know, the cleaning of things like lakes and ponds and seas, things with no outlets, could be very important to you, and what Mother Earth is pushing you specifically to help her out with. All right. So let's see. For those of you who chose Amazonite or Amazonite, depending on how you, amazing night. No. Is that beautiful? My friend gave me that bead. Let's see. Oh, political activism. Bam, right into it. And that's perfect because this is a truth stone, right? This is a badass truth stone, vocal, very third, you know, the heart chakra meets third chakra, or throat chakra. Yes, political activism. Yeah, Fox, the magician. So you have resources, you have a platform, you know how to play the game. You can be wily, but in a good way when it comes to working the system to get things out that need to be said, and you need to use that asset. That's a huge asset. Six of Wands. You can be very victorious in this. So some of you, if you've been thinking like, should I go into something with for law? Should I start, you know, go into something literally political as it says? Should I go into, you know, debates and things of that nature? Like, you're somebody who can navigate that. Not everybody can navigate that world. You know, as we just saw, some people who are very earth friendly and wanting to help Mama Earth, they're, you know, overwhelmed by even being in society, but you're somebody who can handle that, and, you know, has a different kind of balance. There we go, lion. power, loyalty, leadership, and family. So you are absolutely called to be kind of the voice of a movement, or in the face of people in positions of power, and to even like grow that way yourself. We have the energy of Gemini, Aries, and Leo here. So think of how those signs, Gemini is very good at communication, connecting to the local environment, knowing what's what, and all of those tidbits help inform them as they move forward with what their plans are. Aries is very direct, very unafraid, very pioneering, and Leo is going to have that longevity and not be afraid to be seen and not be afraid to be expected to be a leader, or someone to look up to, and to kind of have the confidence to go head to head with people who are maybe heads of state, or your local senators, or whoever it is who is potentially harming Mother Earth. So this is a very strong, beautiful, perfect with that stone, very empowered, very much needed way that Mother Earth is asking you to help her out. Thank you, thank you. That is amazing. Oh, I better put the right one on top, right? Try to be a little bit organized for my mercurial people watching. All right, so we have this gorgeous stone from the earth. Let's see, and this is number 3. Second hand. All right, so it is time to enjoy the whole lifestyle of second hand, whether that's you taking your clothes and selling them to a second hand shop and letting them do the upcycling or whatever, whether it's you getting some stuff second hand. And it could be so much as just being humble to like take the table from your sister or whatever, and you probably like it anyways, but you're just like, well, but she's getting new stuff, so I should probably get something new too. So this is like, no, be okay with that. Trade, barter, let something be. This deck itself is, I probably wouldn't have bought it because it's like a go green deck, so it just seems like ironic, but I got it in a trade actually that I made on Earth Day, so it's it's really awesome. So get something secondhand and be okay with that. If you're gonna get products, especially if they're not if they're not able to compost in the earth, and they're really not sustainable, and they have the shorter shelf life they have, the more try to get them secondhand, kind of. Let's see what else you got from the animal totem. The 3 of Swords. And so you're somebody who it hurts your heart to even think about the earth. You might feel like people might think that you don't even care because you refuse to look at it sometimes, and you get angry at those who bring it up because you're hurt. So this is where you have to really see, is it good to be like, oh, I'm so sensitive that I can't even do anything about it? And does that itself go into cruelty if you're not using that voice to speak for those who have no voice that is heard and listened to? So I can definitely see, and relate to just the pain. It's, you see the history that has happened so quickly, what's happening to the earth, the animals lost, the creatures lost, and, really grieving and mourning. And I think that's actually part of your sacred path. Like, somebody has to grieve and mourn. And in traditional societies, quite often there were people who literally would be mourners and grievers. Not that they didn't do other things in some societies, but, that every part of life was to be, mourned and celebrated when it passed. And so you might be someone who really carries that, and that's what this is saying here. You're able to feel, and it's a gift to feel. And maybe that, when you see that online, this creature that passed, they deserve to have somebody to kind of hold that service for them, that ceremony, and give them a little tear or a little, to feel their loss and to wish them well in their journey afterwards. And that can be very beautiful and very sacred. And I think Mother Earth is asking you to not like, oh, I want to pain you, but to be open to allowing that process, because if no one feels that, the pain is just all locked into this earth here. But if we process it and we acknowledge each other and we celebrate each other and allow that to move forward, it's a very cleansing, beautiful feeling, and it releases that energy and vibration so that the animals can have healing, and the parts of the forest, and whoever it is, whatever beings that are being harmed. So that's a big way that you can help. We have the Wheel of the Year. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. This could be bestowing good fortune on others. It could be seasonally when it comes to birthdays and holidays, that you give tribute to something that you care about that is in season to you at that time. It could be, maybe there's something that you love about the seasons each year, and you can go ahead and give into the funds to those trees or those animals or those creatures. But kind of to keep the wheel turning and always keep people on their toes and reminded of the fact that it's a 24/7, 365 job to be Mama Earth, and that we should love and celebrate her at all times. And I do get a feeling of celebration. I do feel like Mother Earth wants you to celebrate and enjoy and, give gifts that are secondhand as well. And that's, it's a good thing. Yeah, and I'm feeling like that it's okay. Some of you might not feel like it's not okay to give gifts that are like, when you donate somewhere and then they send you something in remembrance of that animal, or in some traditional cultures they still use every part of the animal when they pass. And I feel like some of you are going to be exploring what you feel about that and looking at things in a more traditional way, and just kind of revisiting that. That's what I'll say for that. All right, and here we go. Vision. Eagle, vision, freedom, authority, and inspiration. So see, you are meant to help soar above this energy and to have that clear vision. The depth that you feel for the earth turns into good fortune for her, because then you have a vision to say that it needs to stop, and you can think of ways proactively ahead of time of ways we can help the earth, whether that's authority, like supporting those who go and stand against poachers and things of that nature, or the authority that people have to go into certain areas and do what they will with Mother Earth, the freedom that she deserves in and of herself, and through your inspiration, expressing your love for her and how you kind of show that love and just kind of live it out. People will really, really notice. But you do have a vision that others notice and pay attention to and respect. So if you feel like you don't, or if you feel like, especially those of you in America, you're feeling like, it's just stuck how it is, it's never going to change, you do have a big calling with the energy here to really focus on that and find ways that you can use that vision to implement change here. Okay. Yay, I'm liking doing these readings. I love Mother Earth so much. Okay, so for number 4, with this dragon, preonite stone, whichever one it is, vegetarian or vegan. So this might be touchy for you depending on how you're feeling. So this is, there's a lot of different ways that people go vegetarian or vegan. The very basic, it might, if you have a strong like anti this kind of reaction, it could be asking you to be compassionate to people who feel that that's the right thing to do to help Mother Earth, and if that's their path, for you to be more understanding and not shaming of them. There's not traditional society being lived in the Western world right now, and so the effects of the current process of harvesting animals and the things that are done and the chemicals and the methane and, the water usage and everything. There's so many different reasons why people go vegetarian or vegan. So you might be requested to do that at this time as it's showing here, but it could be for different reasons. So look to your health, look to the environmental impact is what we're looking at here, and see how it might actually benefit, or how you might feel better if you know that you're not contributing to certain negative footprints that are caused by having a carnivorous life, or ways that you can augment that to get the nutrition that you need and the diet that you want, without being harmful to Mother Earth. Having safe practices and very kind ethics and things, and just revisiting it. It's a tough subject whenever we talk about any of these things actually in this reading, especially when we talk about our diets too, which is another touchy thing, but that is being brought up to you and asked to pay attention to that. And maybe to honor the plants too, as they are sentient beings, and to recognize that. You have the star card. So this is talking about networking. So maybe you need to hang out with some vegans, or maybe you need to branch out if that's all you hang out with. Um, we have an oyster here with the pearl, and we have the star card. And um, I think this is, for some of you, this is talking about not getting too high and mighty about things. That to get so high and mighty about the perfection of your eco life, your vegan life, or whatever, is to actually become a little bit like unnatural, or a little bit of, we saw the lion earlier in this reading with someone else's cards. A little bit of pride and prancing about is natural in the natural world, but at a certain point, it becomes building this high tower, and is it really bringing people in to you, or is it just something that ends up leaving you lonely there, while other lights shine more brightly, are more effective, and are more harmonious and connecting to others? So it really asks you to look at that, but overall it's a very, very positive card. This is saying that if you've been feeling very alone on your path, or if you're looking for people who are, very authentic and true, and they really care, this is an excellent card for that hope to be realized. And if you've been really wishing that you could just go more vegetarian, go more vegan for whatever your personal reasons are, this is giving you a push, saying that it's possible, you can do it. So trust yourself, really go to it, and maybe find some friends that who will support you, or some kind of networking that will support that. And we have the Queen of Cups here. So you being very sensitive and compassionate, and your compassion being very important, again, with this relationship of people with their diets. Just diet for you is a huge way of how you connect to Mother Earth. And I feel like for some of you, that's going into herbal work, that's going into medicines and things of that nature, and your compassion, your healing comes through. You definitely have a healer energy, and that's something that Mother Earth wants you to stay connected with, and to stay very, proud of yourself, but very humble and very loving and nurturing and compassionate. All right, and we have the lotus blue butterfly, transformation, becoming, lightness, and beauty. So it's beautiful. It's the energy of a lotus and a butterfly all in one, which is just exquisite. So that unfurling, you're still learning and growing and blossoming spiritually. So again, that don't forget your roots. Like, you weren't always at this point. And I know it's hard sometimes, because once you're aware of something, you're just like, oh my God, how can anyone, do this? It's horrible. And then you're like, oh shoot, well, I wasn't a horrible person, but I didn't know either at one point, maybe. And so this is just saying that, remember that the beauty of your own transformation, remember the love and compassion that you had at each state, and that you really did want to learn and to grow and to be good. And if you do know someone who slips off of, having a life that's good for Mother Earth, just showing some compassion, some lightness, still seeing the beauty in them, and, holding that space for them as they're in their caterpillar phase, or if they're still in their cocoon phase, or if they're still in their seed in the mud under the under the muddy waters before being a lotus phase. All right, so that's really beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited for these readings, because if you're watching this, you're caring about Mother Earth, you want to take care of her, you're trying to be, a sweet, loving human being. Upcycle. Okay, okay, okay. So for those of you who chose magenta agate, I just ran right into this one. Number 5 is upcycling. So upcycling is when you take one item that's old, and then you do it up, and you most time people sell it again. So you take an old table that was whatever, like this table has it, and they kind of, aged it and put this silver and copper painting and this turquoise and everything, and you upcycle it, and then you make it something fresh, you put your spin on it, and then you make it fresh, right? And so this is, this could be something to use more in your business. Don't be afraid to upcycle things. Don't be afraid, maybe there is a product that is really not that bad that you can get at a better price, but it just has a little tiny flaw in it some way. And you could find a way to, in a green way, to do less packaging with it, re-envision it, and, have this amazing product, or you can use it in your own. So it makes me think of the fruit, when fruit's not perfect, they there's so much fruit that's wasted because it doesn't look visually pretty, even though it's perfectly good fruit. So someone else might come and take that and use that and make, high cuisine with it. And I guess that's kind of like an upcycle, but yes. So looking how you can do that in your life. All right, so not just recycle, not just throwing it in the bin for someone else to take care of it, but see how could you reuse this without hoarding, because I do that. And then I just keep stuff forever and I don't do the projects. Ace of Pentacles. So this is asking you to hold on to some things, or if you have that stuff you've been hoarding, to go and make the projects with them. Do the upcycling. You know, it's kind of like Mother Earth wants to see what you're going to make. Like, you know, you've been saving these things from nature. You've been saving things from the land, you know, to not go to the landfill or the recycle bin. What are you going to make from it? You know, and for some of you, you definitely, this could be a way to fund a charity, or you could, I do see income from it. So if you're going to have a business, might as well have it eco-friendly. Yeah, definitely. Some of you could do some upcycling that will supplement your education or your work, but I definitely see the potential for a career. So if you have a way to, and that, you know, it's not making money off of Mother Earth, it's you being provided for in your passion to take care of her, and that being your career and your life, and it just being your lifestyle. So I see some of you who are really maybe study that a lot, like really intently, like how can I full-fledged upcycle. You study other businesses that are like that. You study, you know, fashion, everything. Like, how can we truly do this and have no waste on our planet? And you might have some really good ideas that you'd like to submit, and I would say to go ahead and do that. Find a way to make them real. Oh, how sweet are you? Dolphin, joy, light, flow, and compassion. So this is just a beautiful path, and I think that's why you're going to be blessed and supported. If for any reason you needed to do like a crowdsourcing funding so that you could get a certain project off the ground that would help, you know, take things from a neighborhood and upcycle them into other uses for the neighborhood or things of that nature. I feel like you have a beautiful energy and spirit. You also have a good a good hard work ethic, and you have the ability to really seed your ideas and get something going that's very grand, and to make beautiful things that bring people a lot of joy. So don't discount joy either. Also, really take into consideration things that would end up in the ocean, where, you know, beautiful creatures like this would end up being affected by it. So some of the things that you might redo and upcycle could be preventing that. So that's really, really good. And also, I'm seeing some of you, I don't know, maybe collecting seeds somehow and doing seed bombs. I'm like holding this in my hand and I'm just like, you know, so seed bombing might be something that you also do. Okay, on a bicycle as you upcycle. Okay. Alrighty, to the last one. That went quickly. So I might keep doing them live. Turquoise. Isn't this a gorgeous turquoise? I love the blue turquoise. Let's see, number 6, daily habits. All right, so this is, I felt like my teeth grind. So some of you were like, ah, no, it hurts. Why? Rude. What are the daily habits? Cigarettes. Cigarettes. Oh, goodness. So let's, besides the habit, we're not going to talk about your health. What we're going to talk about is them being left in Mother Earth, them being just thrown in her dirt everywhere. You go to different, you know, houses or community areas, and they're everywhere, and they don't actually like disintegrate the little filters on them. They last forever. So if you haven't thought about changing that habit for your own sake, what about the sake of Mother Earth? Is there a way that you could, you know, if that's really what you want to do, can you roll with papers that, you know, will be fully used and will not hurt Mother Earth, things of that nature. So there's daily habits that need to be considered. Some of you might do great with recycling, but then do you need all of the recycling in the first place? You know, if the habit is soda, you know, things of that nature. So some of your habits, that's why you feel the weight of them even extra, is because they're not only impacting you, they're impacting Mama Earth. 7 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, so some of you, I think, got very discouraged. It's like you started on a really good path, and you were giving up a daily habit, and you were starting on the way to really be eco-friendly or to take care of yourself, and in taking care of yourself, you were helping with the environmental impact, and then it felt like climbing a mountain, and it's kind of like you slid back down the mountain, and now it feels like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I thought I could do that. It felt good when I was doing it, but I don't even know how I could do it now. So start by, okay, this is what just came to me. If you can't easily kick the negative habit, start by attempting to first create a positive habit. So let's say that right now you can't kick soda. Okay, hopefully I'm reconnected. It's been cutting out, so hopefully you can hear me, number 6. So yes, the environmental impact is directly connected to how you're treating your health right now. So you might be like, well, how is that possible? But it's kind of like if you were to do the health that you really wanted for yourself and have the daily habits that you really like for yourself, you would naturally take better care of the earth. You would get better quality products. Now, some of you had like business that isn't doing well, or your finances are really bad right now, and some savings, like you're out of savings, and so you're like, no, like legit, it's hard for me to go and get package free this and this and this and that. So looking how, that's your first step, is looking how can I reestablish some of my positive daily habits without breaking the bank. And there will be opportunities. It could be by going local a bit, connecting with others, you know, just kind of living in a day-to-day fresh life, farmers markets and things like that. And don't feel like you have to make everything yourself. If that's overwhelming, you know, outsource with those around you. And your animal card, stick insect, might pop up there. Stillness, awareness, discernment, and composure. Yes. So this one is like not not feeling so overwhelmed and beat up by this, right? Um I feel like that's important. I feel like that's very important. I feel like self-esteem right now, like my heart's kind of like hurting for you. So I feel like you might have been hit by, with a lot, your health, your finances, and now you're feeling bad because you know that you want to do things for Mother Earth, and but it's just so much. Like life is so much right now. So it's saying just take that time to be still with yourself, you know, and use discernment. You know, it's like I feel like start on your smallest step that you can, and it's okay at this time. What is the smallest daily habit that you can get rid of, or that you can start doing that will benefit? So if it's just discernment, meaning when you go to the grocery store, you're choosing eco, you know, this one that's slightly more eco-friendly over the one that's not. Wherever, sorry, my computer restarted. Wherever is your starting point to get a better daily habit, that's okay, or to release a negative daily habit, okay? Alrighty, so now we're going to go to the collective. This is for everybody. I hope you stayed tuned or clicked forward. Please feel free to timestamp. I don't have so much time to do these. I'm always rushing with the newborn in the home. So please feel free to go ahead and timestamp. Eventually, I'll try to go through the videos and do so, but I can't promise when that's going to happen. So for everybody who did this reading, thank you so much for caring. Reuse, 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 reuse. So whether it's reusing packaging as, you know, for Tupperware and things, whether it is reusing, you know, t-shirts and clothes and repurposing them until there's barely any threads left in different ways as rags, whatever ways you can think. And the world is so freaking creative now. There's so many life hacks. Like, it's cool to do like eco life hacks now. So you'll find so many. Look them up. Reuse from your friend. Don't be proud. So everybody can just be, oh, I'm reusing. This is from Mother Earth. Yeah, I'll totally take take that such and such you don't need anymore. And here's mine. You know, something I'm getting rid of. But reuse, reuse, reuse before you throw away or even recycle. Think about that. Can you use it more? King of Cups reversed. I would say don't let your emotions overwhelm being able to help take care of Mother Earth. And this is also about undamming your emotions. We have the beaver here. Some of you have worked really, really hard because it hurts to see, you know, things in the world happen that aren't good for Mama Earth. But this is saying to let it all flow. Let it all flow and let it be a healthy amount of empathy where you also have action for each other and Mother Earth. We have the Five of Wands reversed. Yeah, it's like stop fighting it. Allow yourself to feel that connection and love for Mother Earth is stronger than fear and stronger than even anger, and using anger in proper ways. This is like petty fighting and things of that nature, and this I feel in this reading is more constructive. You know, we're going to have a constructive amount of emotions not being dammed up. We're going to have a constructive amount of fight and protection for Mama Earth and for each other. Wood. growth, connection, support, and renewal. So everybody who's watching, dead serious, if you could go and in some way plant a tree or contribute to someone who plants a tree or a group who plants trees, or be kind to the acorns in your yard, in some way connect with the wood, connect with the wisdom of the trees that are there too. In a very spiritual way, they've lost their families, they've lost, so much, and they give us so, so much. And science has shown they can take polygraph tests and they're aware, and of course, so growth, connection, support, and renewal. And make sure that you are growing. Like, be patient with yourself if this is your first seed, or if you're reseeding your life to connect with Mother Earth and be eco-friendly and, be a earth protector, and a protector of the creatures and beings of all nations on Mother Earth. Allow that to grow. Allow yourself to slowly connect and to find support and give support, and that will bring us renewal. All right, thank you so much for caring enough to click on this reading. Go ahead and check on my other pick a card readings and let me know what would be interesting for you. And please let me know how you feel about this, all right? And subscribe and like. Thank you so much.